What's up guys, it's Shona and today we're going to check out Sunsuria Forum. Let's go! So now we are in the car park for this project. Since it's a mixed development, so there will be elements of commercial along with the residential, and surprisingly the car park is packed. So I see Village Grocer, I see Anytime Fitness, I see some tuition center, but let's go check out things in more details lah. But so far the lower ground car park feels alright, where you have a high ceiling, and this will be the entrance. So the entrance for the commercial and the residential components are separated, so that is a must for today's project. So the entire experience around the retail, I think it's kind of surprising for me, because looking at the amount of tenancy, yes, there are still like around 20% of units are still like closed or up for rent or whatsoever, right? But surprisingly, it's beyond my expectation. Means that now you will have dentists, you will have skincare, you will have salons, you will have kopitiam, stationery shops, all the supporting things that a community would require, all are here, and it's good. You even have ATM stations, subways. Ooh. And the entire experience is also very nice, where you have this open kind of concept. That will be Village Grocer already, and you will have they call this the big ass fan. Then you will have the very ultra high volume for the ceiling, and you will have natural daylight coming in, so everything feels very comfortable. And now we are in one of the centerpiece, I think, because looking into the space frame structure on the rooftop, it's going to look very interesting from the facade. And this is a transition space between the commercial and the residential. We're going to check out one of the units, but this is still incomplete. Means that there are still works going on. And that further just surprises me more, because you will have an incomplete structure, but inside the tenancy, right, is really picking up. And that also shows in the development of this location. Like now, if you look into Eco Arden side, if you look into this side, right, compared to MCO days, drastic changes in terms of inflow of population, inflow of business activities and things like that. Wow, amazing though. So we are now right outside the dome, and this is the commercial side of things, then this will be the residential side of things. This will be the main drop-off. Then this will be all the elevated car parks. And what's very obvious is you can see that the entire leveling is way higher than the rest of the surrounding. This will be all the factory lots. I would argue they're actually commercial, operating in a factory setting, right? So the entire circulation here is kind of dramatic, kind of weird because of the slope. But that's because they want to keep the car park slightly open, so it reduces cost in mechanical requirements. Apparently, looking at the banner, this also consists of office spaces. You will have residential, retail, offices all complementing each other, and you will have a lot of Tasca now. So those are the community building business activities. That's always good. Yeah, let's go to the unit. So coming up through the lift, we are now in the lift lobby of the floor plate. The width is 2.67, height is 2.8. I have a rather generous sized window here overlooking to the other block. And there are two blocks that are completed already. This will be the facility that we're going to check out later. That will be the future block. Apparently, we are now in the Soho block. So I guess this is where it's an intermediate product between offices, also residential. And for residential, I think that the larger rooms one will be the selling point. For Soho, then the selling point will be the mixed use, whether you can actually use it for own stay, as a recording studio, as a makeup studio, as a photography studio, as a back of house service center to your business around Setia Alam or whatsoever lah. And this will be the main road connecting to Forum itself. So this will be the NKVE highway connecting directly into Setia Alam itself. So the entire Setia Alam is just leaving off this road, and this will be the main junction that connects into this location, and this is the normal traffic condition lah. And if you look surrounding, that will be Eco Ardens and Setia Alam. It's all just landed projects everywhere, and more are coming soon. So for the lift lobby, it's rather bright. It's full tiled up from floor to ceiling. That's nice. So this will be the floor plate, and in total there will be 20 units per floor, split in the center. So per floor will be serviced by 3 passenger lift, 1 service lift here. And you can see it's a double loaded corridor, that usual efficiency oriented layout. So when you come out here, straight away you will have the void in the center, and it will be split to 6 units on one side, 14 units on the other. And one thing I like here will be the 0 floor difference. It's a very gentle slope from the lift lobby into the corridor. Then coming out from the corridor through a fire rated door, you will come out directly into a void space between units, and it's covered via a window and a louvers. The corridor space is 1.8 and 2.6 in height, and you will have a drain in areas that are closer to the void. What I mean is, like, if you see a void here, there will be a drain, void here, drain. And this is the feeling of going through the entire floor plate. They will have floor tiles, they will have rainwater downpipe, exposed spray paints within the internal walls of the voids. The handrails are actually slanted in an angle, so it will not contain water. That's great. So windows at the ends are all sealed, so that's nice. And we are now within this Setia City area where you have Kosan office building, Top Glove office building, Setia City Mall is just there. You have the hospital there, and you have a beautiful park just within doorsteps. So that's the selling point of this location. And we go down further, then ICT is around the corner, and Pelabuhan Klang is also around the corner. So what's different here compared to a normal residential unit, right? So the ceiling here is actually concealed, and you will have the sprinkler system here. Because this is a commercial titled building, that's why there must be sprinklers. For residential project, usually you won't have it. So from the corridor, there will be a corner here. This will be the refuse room, and this is how it looks like lah. So I think for 20 units it's okay, but there's a water issue right now. So a clear example, the gradient on the floor is not flowing directly into the floor trap, so this is a problem. Anyway, this will be the unit I'm going to check out today. So from the corridor, it's a rather high step up, and for this unit, this will be the foyer. But for the corner units, wow, the foyer very luxurious. This is 1.76 meters in width. Here you can perfectly put in a shoe cabinet if you want to. And let's check out the unit. So this is the unit we're going to check out today. Build up is 452 square feet, studio unit, and you can see that both sides is the shear wall, the structural elements that supports the whole thing all together, so you won't have columns or beams in the center lah. So that's good. So coming in from the entrance, there will be a foyer here, and immediately there will be the pantry, and there will be a bathroom attached to it. This will be your living space connected to the TV table, then your wardrobe space, and this will be the location of your bed. At the end there, you will have an aircon latch at the end, but you almost get a full facade for the entire interior. So this is very direct. Let's go check it out. So coming in, the main thing, the door clearance is 1.07 meters. So it means that this door is a 1.1 meter door. Bigger than usual. It really eases the entire moving experience. So coming in through the main door directly, you will have the pantry at the side. That includes the location for the washer as well. This is then the fridge, and the width from wall to wall here is around 2.07 meters to be exact. And here you will have a window that's connected to the void area lah. So it won't be too dark within this internal space itself. And the ceiling height here will be 2.67, but there will be a drop here because to cater for all the services and pipings for the kitchen area. On the side then, this will be the location of the bathroom. So here you will have your basin by Verve, you will have your WC by Verve as well. Shower screen, shower by Electrolux. I don't know whether does it come with it or not, but full height wall tiles, a very comfortable and wide space. for a bathroom. So there will be a slight drop only from the main floor over to the shower area. And something I like also will be the treatments of the door frame. So they kind of applied these kind of details where the door frame comes with the shadow gap itself. So the entire joint between two materials is very tidy. From the kitchen and the bathroom space going forward, then this will be the hero space. Well, this is the only space where you have your living. They kind of improvise the dining a little bit, and that will be your bedroom space. In front here, wardrobe. That's all. So the width from wall to wall here is 4.45, and the ceiling height in the center here after the drop area, right, it will be 3 meters. And if you look into the portal for the price of such unit, is going for about 290 to 300,000. This is a freehold commercial unit. Then for rent per month, this is going for 1,500 to 1,650 per month in a fully furnished setting. If you buy earlier at 280, maybe 260,000, then this is a not bad kind of situation. And to think about it, why does it feel very big? There's absolute clearance in structural elements. Everything is just open. The size of tiles are 600mm by 600mm applied across, so you will have tiled skirtings as well. And because this is a commercial unit, right, fire sprinkler system are required, but they still peacefully boxed up at the corners. Then last of all, the window size. Almost the entire available facade are used for windows, so that really drastically changed the whole space experience. This is a queen size bed. You still have a lot of circulation space around. Actually, there's way more potential of storage space because of the width of the unit, right? Actually, you can build way more storage space around, but this is a rental unit, so they don't have to do as advanced, right? But anyway, this is the access to the aircon latch area. So currently now it just comes with an aircon, one unit of aircon right now, so you will have a very comfortable and safe area for your aircon workers to do their job. And overlooking, right, the view. So this is the original setting of the address lah. The address has always been a favorite for everyone in Klang Valley for their landed components. But here you can see a lot of greens, but how I see it, a lot of canvas left. Imagine if this project does well, ROI very good, guess what's going to happen in the future? And you will see it's a mixture of different land use. So you have a lot of landed residential. So you will have a convention center here that can be part of the target audience that rents this project itself for short-term stay. Then there will be Courtyard Hotel next to Setia City Mall, and after that, right, all that will be the industrial areas already. And judging based on the available commercial corporate towers here, right, the main business here has always been gloves, and there was a moment in time during COVID days, right, their businesses thrived a lot. This entire area were rich man's area lah. Here you also have the elements of nature. There's a hiking trail available within that bukit. I don't know what's that bukit's name, but something you'll highlight will be the infrastructure level of Setia Alam itself. They call it Setia City, so this site is actually Setia City. Where you look into the road systems, all are done and designed really well. We have done an area review of this before, where it's just amazing to see like the width and the level of construction that the entire team has done, not only built but maintained all this while looking into the landscape treatments around the neighborhoods. Amazing. And I guess that's all for the unit. Pretty direct, but it feels definitely bigger than on plan. I think it's also the furniture. I think when you take the unit, when it's empty, it feels way smaller. But after you see how the makeover guys furnish the whole space here, it feels way bigger, along with the daylights and all. Nice. But let's go check out the facilities right now. Coming up from the lift lobby, we are now in the facilities deck, and directly, this is not a very nice experience lah. You need to climb down the stairs immediately. If not, there will be a inclusivity element here. There's a clear boundary that separates between different usage. So on this side, this tower is actually a Soho tower. This side is actually a residential tower lah. So that's why the playground, the swimming pool, the basketball court, we have no shared units to enjoy those kind of things. Too bad lah. But from the distance, it looks pretty nice. But this is the boundary to the area, unfortunately. And now here we can see several garden units. They are set pretty high up and they will have direct connections into the facility floor, although not the swimming pool. Then you are separated by these organic pockets of landscape islands. Pretty nice. I like that they filled pebbles within the pit area instead of just leaving it as a concrete, so that's some effort there. But I do like the glass roofing. Wow, this specs very high, like, ooh. Anyway, let's go check out the gym and the jacuzzi. Now we are in a gym and I'm also confused, like, is there several gyms where one is separated only for residential, one separated for Soho, or is this a shared facility? I'm not too sure. But looking at it, there is treadmills here and it's furnished by Techno Gym. That is amazing. So you have all the bicycles and other cardio machines all facing the pool. And now we are on the upper floor of the gym, and this will be all the weights machine, the free weight zone here. Again, the color scheme is more of a dark yellow white kind of interplay. Looks really cool. And again, these are branded, so these are furnished again by Techno Gym. And from this level, it kind of resolves my question about whether is this only applicable to the commercial side, not the residential. The residential components will have their very own set of gym and swimming pool and play area. So it's actually separated. Where here, beyond the construction side, you can see at the far end, right? That's actually the swimming pool and the gym there. So this is very nice. And it's a little bit too luxurious lah. Imagine when I buy the Soho unit, right? Technically it's for work, but look at the space given. So this will be the studio area. Wow. Nicely, where you have the locker room here. Ooh. Then next to the gym, this will be the swimming pool edge. You have the infinity edge. Unfortunately, the corporate tower is not ready just yet. So this is not 100% the full experience, but it looks pretty good. You will have like timber-like tiles already. Pavilions for you to kind of chill out. Wow, overlooking Setia City Park. Awesome. So what's cool about this project will be the mixed development element of it, where you have Soho, you have offices, you have residents, you have retail downstairs. So technically, if you were to work here and live here, you don't have to really live already. And if you really need something a little bit more than what's provided within the retail area, you can, I think, arguably walk to Setia City Mall. And if there's any convention or if there's any activities, right, the convention center is just here. And the best thing, in my opinion, is a lot of people thought that Setia Alam is already super dense or super developed. In my opinion, it's not, because this is an area where if you look into the plot ratio of things, the building density control, right, this is where all the high rises are built. And you have the commercial area. So this is an area, to think about it, with almost the highest concentration of job opportunities. And what does that reflect into? Most of the time will be the high temporary demand of space, which translates into rental rates. Like for the project that we reviewed before, Setia City Residences, if you compare the installment versus the current rent for the market, right, it's actually very, very good in terms of investment. And looking at this, right, I would argue that this is not even developed just yet. So much empty space around. Whoa! Well, that can also be a threat lah, because it might affect the supply into the market, so that will affect your rent a little bit. But it's very, very cool because we documented all this from the very start. Nice. So this is the Soho. This is the corporate C-suite, they call it. Then this will be the residence, and this will be the partition and separation of access from one another. Okay, so it means that all facilities on that side will belong only to the residents. Whatever this side of the boundary line, all will be for the commercial areas. And here you can see you will have a welcome statement of a water structure here. Wow, I don't know whether this can sustain through time or not. But then there will be a barbecue pit here, some play area here, and this will be a gathering space kind of next to the barbecue pit, and the barbecue zone will be within. And the commercial folks will also get access to the kids playground, which is weird, right? Technically those units are supposed to be offices, right? So this shouldn't apply, right? Technically. Anyway, so let's check out the gym for the residential components lah. I guess they will be bigger in size. So this is going to be a blur line between what commercial title means, what residential title means already, because ultimately there are just more demand for residential units or residential usage purposes. Although I put it in Soho, although I put it in commercial unit suites or C-suite units or whatever they want to call it, right? Ultimately the demand for residential usage is still higher. But during submission of a proposal of the building, right, to the local authorities, they always think that, wow, too many residential unit or whatsoever. And from a town planning perspective, from a mixed development perspective, it's always better to have a mixed use. But now ultimately I see 3 towers, right? All are going to be for residential purposes. But that might change over time because of all the brand new factories within the industrial zone. With result, it's also a huge inflow of working population into this address itself. Now a lot of people actually move into Setia Alam to work instead of Setia Alam residents going into KL for work. So it's actually changing because here you will have a few key industry that's dominating the market, like the glove lah, logistics lah, manufacturing lah, dan lain-lain. Okay, that's why like when you think about why you look into the components, why do you need to split the playground into 2 parts? Why do you need to split the facility into 2 parts? Why don't you just make it a bit clearer? This is just for the sake of flexibility lah. What if more people want to buy units for own stay? You can still stay. It's still Soho, it's still an own stay component. Because what if more people actually want to use it for commercial usage, like to run as offices? It's readily available. I guess that's the strategy and game plan for this separation, because this separation is actually a bit weird, to be honest lah. So like you see this entire separation gate, it's like I've committed wrong and this is the punishment I get to be separated. And I don't know whether is this going to be a full-time thing or ultimately everything is going to be open. Don't know also. Hey guys, we are now in the elevated car park for the Soho units, and a few confusion here lah. But anyway, this is a separation of different building usage. So I think that's why it will be the corporate or residential tower, because they have more units and they actually separate using a parapet wall like this. It looks weird, right? And it's confusing, but overall the structure is a flat slab structure. It looks pretty tidy. But on the Soho side, I think I see a lot of wastage of space. So you will have the roads like that, and you will have car park bays like that, right? So imagine all these spaces, all are wasted. Then you will have the roads located at the end of the road. So this road is not efficient to serve car parks on both sides. Again, waste space. Then when you drive in here, this is actually a dead end. Not so pleasant experience, and everything is in a diagonal form, and it's actually very confusing for the team to travel around the car park. So we kind of lose our way a little bit. That will be the lift lobby, and there are several entrances from the lift lobby. I guess this will be the future ramp when it's ready. So it's actually a circular ramp that comes up directly from ground floor. So this is the width of the experience, and again, just a lot of wastage of space. Like once you have a ramp here, this space belongs to nobody. Then suddenly, like behind the column, a lot of space, not even for tandem, belongs to nobody. A lot of wastage of space. And I'm not too sure why do you need such a big column that's so close to each other for a building height that's not very high. So since there are a few confusion, now we are in the retail area. Just now this was the part where it's like the space frame. We access the residential tower from the front, and this will be the elevated car park, the Soho unit, residential unit, and the corporate tower. And this will be the facility deck for the residential side. The center part will be the barbecue area. Then coming over this side, this will be the gym that we visited, the double-story gym. This will be for the commercial side of things. So the entire partition strategy is actually permanent, not temporary. So it's going to be there for sure. And I guess that's all for this episode. It's now time for Sean's take 3 on 3.
You just wanna hold it, don't wanna swim it over.
So as I'm now standing right in front of Speed Mart 99, this is the retail portion of things where you will have the confinement center, you will have the banana leaf rice, you will have a lot of supporting retail components within the project itself, and that seems to be the very first thing that I like. The mixed development program of the entire project, there's something that's very convenient. Just imagine a township convenience, right, within a project itself, where you have retail, right? then you have offices, you have strata offices, you have residential, you have Soho, you will have indoor, semi-outdoor offices also got. And just imagine if you were to stay here and work surrounding here, you have a small office here as a studio or whatsoever. It's going to be very, very convenient. Just stay here. My kids sent to a daycare around here or an international school around here. Then during the evening, we can just hang out at the park. There's going to be several parks around this area. F&B choices, we are just a distance drive away from Klang itself. Great food in abundance. Then for weekends, you will have convention center, you will have the mall to kind of hang out. And this is actually not too far away from the city, just that the outlet connecting into NKVE, that might be a slight congestion, but it really depends on timing. And this composition of products together in one project, right? It only can happen when you have such a big canvas all together. And very close to that, part number 2 is the master plan of Setia City itself. So this is I think it's a pocket land development, a rather big pocket land, but this is situated in the master plan of Setia City. So for this developer itself, they kind of leverage on it where you just plug and play to the existing components, because within this setting of Setia City, you can see that the plot ratios are higher, the building densities are higher. This is an area where it's supposed to be the CBD of Setia Alam itself, where you're going to be all the corporate towers, the mall is here, convention center is here, the actions are supposed to be here. And because of this master plan, in comparison to what we see in Klang, right, the level of infrastructure here is way higher. Let's look into the road width, street lights, trees, drainage system, and etc. This area here is just superb, and it's just a bonus to this developer itself. They just took a piece within and built. And last of all will be the architectural layout. Like the entire experience coming up from the car park into the retail street, then going into the drop-off and the entrance lobby of the Soho, also the residential tower. The lift lobby is amazing. The corridor width is amazing. Everything is nice. The unit layout is also surprisingly better than expected. Everything architecturally is just better than expected, because if you look into the 549 square feet unit, right, the width is nice, the open layout is nice. I like that they position the toilet inwards instead of attaching to the facade. We have seen a version of that is a huge mistake. So by positioning within, attach the window to the internal void, the room layout works way better. Ceiling height sufficient, and the facility deck, you have 2-story of gym, you will have your own swimming pool. I really don't see the differentiation between commercial and residential, honestly, but it's just the way it's designed. But my favorite of all would be the very nice dedicated drop-offs around the project. Around the retail here, they will have their own Soho, they will have their own residential, they will have their own, and everything is laid out nicely. So it just reduces the congestion of prosperity, where whenever the business here is being too good, then suddenly if I were to live in a residential component, right, I cannot go back home. Then it's a problem. For the 3 things I don't like, number 1, the current status of the business side of things. So currently now you can see a few anchor tenants already, like the grocer, the cafes, the steamboats, the tuition centers, the daycares and all, right? Those are fabulous, but it was only months ago that we come, none of this was around, and it gave a very, very negative impression to the location. So for any mixed development, the reality is the weightage of the image of the project heavily depends on the success of the business sides of things. So when the business side is not doing well, right, it will always affect the residential side of things. So if I were to invest in the residential side, it becomes a risk to me. Of course, I want the business to do good also, which I think is going to be, because within proximity, this is going to be one of the nearest kind of open individual title shop lot type of experience. And the risk of this also, as we always mention, like when we have commercial, we have public accessing the project, and you will have public behaviors of Malaysians like this, just car parking everywhere they can. And because this is also located next to the factory lots, and most of them are used as school, like you have the Al Fateh Integration Primary School there, then you will have another daycare there. So when parents come after school hours or whatsoever, right, here is going to be packed, and it's just going to affect your journey back home. So just take note of that. So if there were to be one anchor tenant that's doing extremely well, everybody come and line up, right, you'll also be affected one. The second thing I don't like will be the clear demarcation of separation for the facility deck between usages. That feels very, very weird. I thought it was just an arbitrary line or a temporary line within a scale model, until we reach and see the real thing, right? It's really separated like that. and it feels weird. I know for practicality reasons, residential and commercial will have different rates. That's why they will need to maintain different areas. It's best that all areas are designated correctly first, so each party, right, will not argue against each other on the maintenance fees. But it just looks weird. It just really damages the entire experience within that wonderful facility. That just imagine if that line were to be taken out, right, the entire facilities there is going to feel amazing. But nevertheless, they already allocated a nice enough facilities for each party lah. So for commercial, they have their own gym and swimming pool. For residential, they will have their own gym and swimming pool also. So in terms of usage, nothing wrong. Just that in terms of confusion and separation, if you are not familiar with the Strata Management Act or whatsoever, right, it's like, why? Like, why? On top of that, architecturally also, I don't like the drastic drop of level from the garden units level to the facility, which means when I come out to the facility floor at my lift lobby level going downwards, that's very drastic and it's not very pleasant. I know it's due to services and allocation because downstairs is already a car park ma, so there will be a lot of services and structural things, so it's just easier to just elevate everything upwards, right? They also got provide inclusivity elements like the ramps and all, but just that it doesn't feel as nice. Another thing to highlight is also the inefficiency of the car park. When we go into the car park for the Soho unit, a lot of wasted space, then a lot of dead ends. The car park structurally looks amazing. Layout wise, I think can be improved lah. And last of all will be the relevance of this location to you. If you are still working in KL city centre, Setia Alam might be a distance away from that. Although there are few accesses to go out to KL, you have the Federal Highway, Sepadu Highway, you will have the NKVE Highway. During peak hours, everywhere also jam lah. So the distance then might not be as helpful. So please do take note. And within this Setia City Centre also, it can be a good thing and a bad thing. I don't know how to say. There's still a lot of empty lands available around. It can mean potential. Whenever this is a huge success, right, immediately the next plot of land, they will build something already. But so far, everything is still remain as canvas. And if you were to build more, that might affect either the view to things or the demand and supply to your unit. Yeah, so it really depends on, like, I don't know the development of this location, but based on my observation, because of a lot of businesses locating their back of house, their logistics all over to Klang, because ultimately this is an industrial focus area, the demand for landed houses here has always been peaking all the time. So now what's changing within this zone will be the mixed development, the high rises and things like that. Corporate towers are also slowly coming into this address. Like we can see Kosan Tower, last time it was only Top Glove Tower. Eco Arden's also coming up with a brand new corporate office. So commercial components are really coming in because apparently within this area there's a shortage. The only offices that you get are those conventional shop lot, the top floor. That's about it. And I think that's all. Do I like this project? In terms of numbers, currently I think it's okay. Experience-wise, it's okay. But there are a lot of things that I wish could have been better. And I guess that's all for today. Thank you very much. And if you really like this episode, like it, share, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan. Ciao.